Hey everyone, so I'm going to do a reading for Divine Feminine. What I want to see is, what are some of the struggles that some of you Divine Feminines are still going through on your journey, and see if we can't, give some guidance on how to cope with that, and see if we can't find some guidance to help, okay? So, keep in mind, these readings are general. They may not resonate for all of you, but if it does resonate, be sure to hit the like button and, leave me a message, and subscribe if you are not subscribed. Also, if you hadn't seen my previous video, I am now doing readings full time. I decided to let go of my full-time job. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and I just finally, got the courage to do that. So now I will be doing readings full-time. So I want to be able to do different topics and see, where it is that I can help you on your journey. So again, this reading is going to be for Divine Feminine, to see what are some of the challenges, and see if we can't help, help some of those challenges along. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull a few oracle cards and see what Spirit has to say. So Spirit, for Divine Feminine, what are some of the issues that some Divine Feminines are still currently going through on their journey? What are some of the challenges that Divine Feminine are going through on their journey? This one is definitely wanting to come out. Okay, so the first card that we have is worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life, okay? The second card that we have is love yourself. Your self-respect makes you more attractive, romantically attractive. So love yourself first. And then we have heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So I feel like so let's talk about this in terms of challenges, okay? So number one, we all know that one of the biggest challenges is divine timing, and that's exactly what this card is talking about, okay? It's I feel as though there are Divine Feminines out there who get impatient because everything does happen in divine timing. The divine is the one who makes the decisions on when things start moving along. And I feel like what part of the challenge is that sometimes divine timing can be a bit impatient. All right, so that's the first one. The second one, obviously, you have to love yourself, okay? This is a big challenge, because in order to bring in love with your counterpart, you have to love yourself, and you have to have that self-respect for yourself. If you don't love yourself and you don't have that respect for yourself, well then obviously your counterpart will, they can feel that, okay? Because as twins, you mirror each other. They can feel that, and that can at times be, repelling. In most relationships, most couples definitely want to be with somebody who is confident. And that's in any relationship. It doesn't have to necessarily be twin flames or soulmates or even just regular connections, okay? This is across the board. We have to love ourselves, whether it is divine feminine, whether it is divine masculine. As people, as human beings, we have to love ourselves and we have to respect ourselves. And if we can do that, it sets off the energy, and your counterpart can feel that. And it's how can I say, when they feel that energy of, you know, you loving yourself and respecting yourself, it draws them towards you. So again, one of the challenges is that you have to love yourself. There's a lot of you out there who are not loving yourself. That's not to say that is all of you, because I do feel like a lot of divine feminines who are on this journey have been on this journey long enough to know that this is a big topic, and this is a big part of your healing process. But we have to understand that not everyone has been on the journey for a long time. Even though there are a lot of you who have, not all of you have been on the journey a long time. You have to understand that there are people that are embarking on the journey every single day. And because of that, there are still divine feminines out there who are just realizing that they are in a twin flame connection. And because of that, they're kind of starting off at the very beginning, and they still have quite a bit of ways to go when it comes to healing, okay? So especially for those people, this is a big one, you know, loving yourself and having that self-respect, okay? So that is a challenge, especially for, you know, the newer ones. Then we have heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly, discuss your feelings with your counterpart. So I feel like, especially for those of you who are, you know, a bit impatient with divine timing and who are struggling with, you know, self-love and self-worth and self-respect, I feel like it hinders you from having the conversation with your counterpart, okay? And what Spirit is saying is that you have to find that courage to be able to have this conversation with your counterpart. Communication is very, very important, and it goes a long way. And conversations, heart-to-heart conversations, can really help the connection. When you speak to each other and, you know, talk about the issues at hand, it's good to, you know, lay it all out on the table and, you know, release your emotions, release what it is that you're struggling with in the connection itself. So heart-to-heart conversations, you have to give it a shot. You can't be afraid to do that, okay? But again, you know, in order to get to this point, you know, you have to have that confidence, all right? You have to love yourself and have that respect for yourself, and you have to have that courage in order to be able to have this heart-to-heart conversation, okay? So I feel like this is, you know, one of the things that, you know, could be hindering your progress in your relationship is being afraid to have the conversations. And this is something that you really need to work on, all right? So let's see. Let's pull a few cards here. Let's pull a few cards here and see what else Spirit has to add to this. Spirit, what else do you want to add to this? What else do you want to add to this for Divine Feminine? What else is it that you want to add to this for divine feminines? What else do you want to add to this? Okay, so the first card that we have is Beauty, all right? And it says charming, graceful, and luxurious, okay? Then we have spiritual connection, deep love, soulmate, and unity, okay? And then we have purifying, purge, healing, and clean energy. And that's what this whole reading is about, okay? It's about recognizing the challenges that you're facing, okay? And it's about healing, and it's about loving yourself, and it's about, you know, proceeding to what it is that you need to do to evolve in your connection, okay? So I feel like it's very, very important to purge, okay, and heal, you know, heal your wounds, heal yourself, okay? Find the beauty and grace, and you know, find the beauty, the grace, and, you know, the charming and luxurious aspects of yourself, okay? Again, that goes with loving yourself, okay? That goes with that. When you find the beauty and you find that love for yourself, and you find that grace within yourself, then you can, you know, proceed to that spiritual connection that you have with your counterpart, you know, the deep love and the unity. But again, in order to get to this place, in order to find the beauty and the gracefulness and evolving in your spiritual connection with that deep love and unity, you have to heal. There's just no way around it. You have to heal, okay? And again, it's going to start with loving yourself and respecting yourself, okay? So I just feel like these cards are basically, you know, corresponding, you know, together. Again, we had, you know, worth waiting for. We had divine timing. Again, I feel like a lot of you do struggle with divine timing, because divine timing does take patience. But one of the reasons why I want to explain this so that you understand, the reason why divine timing takes time is because the divine brings you together in your connection. But the divine will only bring you together once you've learned some lessons, once you've healed, once you have, you know, evolved and, you know, found that self-love within yourself. The divine will not put, you know, you and your counterpart together if one or both of you is not purified and not healed, and your energy is not clean, okay? Divine timing works when you both have evolved and you've learned your lessons and you've healed. That is when divine timing starts to come in, okay? So what I'm seeing is that some of you just don't have the patience. Like, you want things to happen right away, and it just doesn't work that way. you have to go through the process. The twin flame connection is very, how can I say, it is a long, hard process. It's a long, hard journey. And you have to go through you have to go through the learning process and the healing process, and you kind of have to go through the excruciating times in order to get to the good times. All right, so I just feel like, Spirit is telling you where it is that you can make some adjustments, and if you can make these adjustments, then divine timing can move a little faster. Sometimes you can hinder yourself and hinder time if you are what is the word? If you are rejecting the healing and the purging, if you're rejecting the things that you need to do to progress on your journey, it's going to hold you back, and it's going to take a lot longer. So I'm here to tell you that if you do the work and you do the things that you need to do to progress, then you will start to see the difference. You will start to see progression actually take place. Okay, so you need to do the work. All right, so love yourself. Find the beauty in yourself. Find that grace within yourself. Purge, heal. Allow yourself the time to heal, to heal those wounds that you have. Because let me tell you something. Let's just say that you and your counterpart actually have an open window to come back together, but yet there's still some issues in the connection. Maybe, your counterpart, was in a 3-party situation and it really, really hurt you, or you separated and the circumstances that were surrounding your separation were devastating, and you have not healed that, and there is that window of opportunity for you to come together, and those things are not healed, then guess what? You can come together, and those things that hurt you, that caused your separation, they'll start to resurface. And when they start to resurface, then it's going to trigger you. And if it starts to trigger you, you're going to lash out on your counterpart, and it's going to affect you in a negative way. And eventually what will happen is you'll end up in separation again, and that's not what you want. You want to be able to come together in unity, okay? Spiritually, you want to be able to come together and stay together in harmonious union, okay? Not just union, but harmonious union. So it's important, very, very important, to heal these things before you can come together. And that is the reason why divine timing is so crucial. Because the divine knows if you're ready or not. Because the divine knows your inner self, knows your inner emotions. And if the divine feels like you're not ready, then they're not going to put you together. Okay, so it's important. It's so important, and I cannot say that enough. So it's important to heal. Find the beauty in yourself, love yourself, respect yourself, and purge yourself, cleanse, purify. And when you do that, then you'll be able to resonate not just on a 3D level, but a 5D spiritual level. And that's what's going to bring you closer together. All right, so that's what Spirit is saying. So let's see. Let's pull a few more cards here. For Divine Feminine, what challenges do some Divine Feminines still what challenges do some of the Divine Feminines still have that may be hindering them at this time? Again, this is not going to resonate for all of you, but for whoever it does resonate for you, you know, hopefully this can really help you. What else, Spirit? What else? Okay, so we have the Three of Pentacles. It is in reverse. We have the King of Wands. It is in reverse. We have the King of Cups in the upright. We do have the Sun. We have Death. And we have the World. Okay, so what I'm seeing with these cards is that, especially with this Three of Pentacles coming up in reverse, is basically saying that you're not ready at this particular time to build your connection, okay? Because the three of Pentacles in the upright position is working together and, you know, building together, okay? It's showing up in the reverse. So this is just saying that at this particular time, some of you are not at that point right now where you're ready to build, especially for those of you who do have some hurt and pain still lingering with inside you. It's causing you to not really want to work together to build, okay? To build the connection. It's right next to the King of Wands in reverse, okay? It could also be that part of the reason why, you know, you're not wanting to build at this time is because, you know, with the King of Wands in reverse, you know, this is a divine masculine is not putting forth any action. Wands are about action, and this is the king, right? So he's not putting in any action. He's not, putting forth any efforts. And I feel as though that's part of the reason why, you're not wanting to work towards the connection, because you feel like he is not putting in any efforts, okay? Also, the King of Wands, when he is in reverse, he's somebody that may not be easy to talk to. We do have, the heart-to-heart conversations, and we talked about this earlier. You could also, you could be afraid to talk to your divine masculine, because for some of you, you may feel like he may be a hothead, because the King of Wands in reverse, he can be a hothead. He's fire energy, and so again, being stubborn and having being a bit of a hothead, and not putting in the effort that the King of Cups. So I feel like this is what you want. You want your divine masculine to be the King of Cups, somebody who's loving and who shows emotions. This is what you want, but this is what you're getting currently, okay? But this is what you want, okay? You want your divine masculine to be loving and emotional, or show emotion and show the love, and to and to put in efforts with those emotions, okay? This is what you want, but you're getting a hothead right now, somebody who's not doing that. And so this is the reason why you're just not at this particular time ready to build and move forward, right? So what Spirit is saying, though, is that there is an opportunity for happiness, okay? Because we do have the Sun card. This is about, prosperity and abundance, okay? There is the opportunity there for that to happen. The thing is, it's coming up next to the Death card, okay? And with the Death card, this is basically saying that you have to put some things to rest. You have to put some things to death in order to because with death comes transformation. With death comes reborn, right? So it's putting to death ego, fear, the unwillingness to take a chance and have a conversation with your counterpart, even though you feel like you don't want to, because you're dealing with somebody who's a hothead, and you're dealing with somebody who hasn't shown you efforts, and because of that, you are putting your ego in front of that. All right. So what Spirit is saying is that, listen, if you want this abundance and prosperity, if you want this happiness, then you have to put a debt to the ego and the fear, okay? The Sun card is also about good health, okay? So this is an indication that healing is necessary. It's necessary. If you want prosperity and abundance, then you have to heal yourself. And the way to heal yourself, again, is to put a death to the things that are hindering you, okay? And putting a conclusion to that. It's hard sometimes. It's hard to forget about the hurt and the pain that your counterpart has put you through, or that you may have put them through, okay? Because it can go both ways, in relationships, it's not just one person's fault all the time, okay? So it's about healing, and it's about putting a death to those hindrances and putting a conclusion to it. And if you can do that, if you can put a conclusion and a death to that, then what's going to happen is a whole new cycle will begin. This is about conclusions, and so it's about conclusions and restart, okay? It's a restart. It's like pressing the reset button. But you can't press the reset button if you're still holding on to ego and fear, and you're still holding on to the pain. All right. So, but ultimately, Spirit is saying that the opportunity is there. It's just up to you. Okay. It's up to you. Do you want to hold on to this pain and ego and fear? Or do you want to turn this card around and start letting go of those hindrances and start building on your connection? Taking a chance, even though you know you're dealing with somebody, who's a little difficult to deal with. Make a decision. Make a decision on what you want to do. If this connection really means a lot to you, then you have to start building up your confidence. And you have to have faith, and you have to work towards it. Okay? You have to work towards it. Right now, you're not. So, again, there is the opportunity with the Sun card and with the world, okay? You can have the world. You can have it all. You're just going to have to let go of some things. You have to let go of the things that are hindering you. And if you can do that, then things will start turning around for you, okay? So just keep that in mind. Let's pull a couple of messages, all right? Let's pull a couple of messages from your Divine Masculine to you. A couple of messages from Divine Masculine to Divine Feminine. A couple of messages from Divine Masculine to Divine Feminine. Okay, so we have, it says, I've been so irritated lately not hearing from you. Okay, then we have, I'm becoming suspicious of our separation. Okay, and ironically, Spirit did talk about heart-to-heart conversations. So I do feel like, even though your Divine Masculine is not putting forth any effort, okay? And how can I say this? All of this applies to your Divine Masculine as well, okay? But the thing about it is that Divine Feminines are the ones who watch these readings more than Divine Masculines, okay? So as a Divine Feminine, you're the one who has the opportunity to get guidance from Spirit, whereas a lot of Divine Masculines don't. That's not to say that none of them do. There are some that do, but they're very few compared to Divine Feminines. So what I'm seeing is that, your Divine Masculine is not putting in any effort, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't want to hear from you, okay? Because it's irritating him that he's not hearing from you, okay? And he's becoming suspicious. He's becoming suspicious as to why you are not conversating with him, okay? So this is, what he wants you to know. Let's pull one more card. Let's pull one more card. Give me one more card, Spirit. One more message. All right, so 2 cards came out. We'll go ahead and take them. Okay, so we have, I've been drinking more than I should lately. Your divine masculine wants you to know he's been drinking. All right, and then we have lost. It says, I feel lost without my other half. So you should know, divine feminine, that number one, this separation between you two is affecting him. It's affecting him to the point where he's getting irritated and he's starting to drink, okay? Because he's just feeling lost without you, all right? I feel like he does want this conversation with you, but I just don't feel like I don't feel like he's gonna be the one to make the move, okay? I feel like it is going to have to be you who reaches out, okay? And I know that some of you feel like that's unfair, but at the end of the day, that's ego. Again, that's ego. And you have to let that go. You have to let that go if you want to evolve in this journey and if you want to evolve in your connection, okay? Because unions are possible. It happened with me. Me and my divine masculine were separated for 2 years. He was with a karmic and we got back together. But, I had to heal. I had to let go of a lot of wounds and I had to do the work. And, divine timing finally came in and brought us together. I'll give you another story. My brother, when he was a teenager, he met a woman and he was in love with her. That was his first love. Again, he was a teenager. He was maybe 15? He was like 15. Too young to be responsible. And, again, he was young. And he was with this woman, and she came from a really good family who really looked out for her. My brother at that particular time was, kind of living with friends and stuff. He felt my father was just too demanding and had a lot of expectations. So he left, he left my father's home and, went out living with friends. So he was not very responsible, okay? And, again, he fell in love with a woman, and she came from a very good upbringing, okay? But she did love my brother, and she kind of did run away with him, but she got pregnant, okay? She got pregnant. And when she got pregnant, she saw that my brother just wasn't ready to be a father, and he wasn't ready to be responsible at such a young age. So she had the baby, and when she had the baby, her family said, we're going to help you raise this baby, but you are going to have to let him go because he's not good for you and he's not responsible, and et cetera, et cetera. So 20 years passed. 20 years passed. My brother ended up, in those 20 years, he ended up in another relationship and had a few kids, with, the woman that he was with during that time, and they had a life together, and, they had children. But that relationship did finally come to an end as well. And when that relationship came to an end, ironically, my brother ended up reconnecting with his first love, the one that he had his first child with. Now, mind you, in those 20 years, because her parents said, you cannot be with this man. We are going to help you raise this child, but you cannot have any contact with him or the family. So we never got to see that child. The child was never in our lives because they moved, and they just didn't want us to have anything. Even the family didn't want, they didn't want her to have anything to do with my brother or us. So we never saw that child for 20 years. And again, when because he was with, the second woman that he was with, that he had some more children with, they were together for a very long time. A very long time, for many, many years. And when that relationship did come to an end, like I said, he rekindled. He ran into his first love, and they kind of rekindled their relationship. And he was finally able to see his child that he hadn't seen in 20 years. And by this time, she's 20 years old, or 19. She was 19 at the time. She didn't even know about my brother. She didn't know that, he was her dad. So he met her, and, her mother had to have a sit down with her and, tell her that, this is your father. We were, high school sweethearts. He was my first love, and, we want to try to work things out, and we want to try to be a family again. So what they did was they ended up getting back together. It took 20 years. Okay, it took 20 years. But my brother was always haunted by her, because even when he was with, the second woman that he had children with, I always remembered him always, sometimes he would get drunk and he would, talk to me and tell me that, he never stopped loving, his first love, and he was sad that he never knew, his daughter, that he never knew his child. And that really hurt him so much, the pain of that, it consumed him a lot. And those were things that he had to heal. And I also think that the mom also had a lot of healing to do, and they both had a lot of growing up to do. Okay, so here we are, 20 years later, and they both, got to a point where they felt like they could put the past behind them, and they rekindled their relationship. Now they're married. They've been married for, since 2013 they got married. And they've, been together ever since. And, now he, knows his daughter, and his daughter loves him, and his daughter, actually had some children of her own now. So now he's a grandfather, and, they're living happily ever after. So what I want to tell you is this: unions are possible, and yeah, sometimes divine timing takes a long time. It does. For me, it was only 2 years. I think in some videos I said 3 years, but it was not 3 years. Sometimes when I'm doing readings, I'm talking and I'm not thinking as well as I should. But no, we were separated 2 years, and we got back together. But my point is that my brother always knew that his first love was his soulmate twin flame, whatever, okay? If not twin flames, certainly soulmates. He'd always loved her. And, 20 years passed, but they did get back together. So what I want to say is that it can happen. It just happens when the divine feels like these two people are ready, when they've healed their wounds and they're ready to forgive each other and they're ready to work, okay? When they're ready to work and build together, okay? And right now what I'm seeing is there's some divine feminines who are not wanting to build on that right now because, they feel like, their divine masculines are not, giving them a reason to fight and build for this connection. But you have to let that ego and fear go. You have to let it go. All right? Your divine masculine is lost without you. He's drinking and he's irritated from not hearing from you. Okay? So let the ego go, let the fear go, and give it a chance. Love yourself. Find that self-respect. Work on your healing. Work on that pain. Heal yourself, okay? Because the Sun card is saying when you heal yourself, then you can have prosperity and abundance, okay? So that's what I have for you guys. It's not easy, but hopefully this guidance will help you, okay? Love yourself. Find the beauty and grace within yourself, okay? Try not to be impatient. Divine timing knows what's right, okay? Try to have this heart-to-heart conversation because your divine masculine is wanting to have a heart-to-heart conversation, but I don't feel like he's going to be the one to make the move. I feel like it's got to be you who does it, all right? So these are the tools. This is what Spirit has. If you're truly wanting to be back with your twin, then do the work. And when you do the work, then harmonious union is possible. It is. It happens every day. I'm living proof. Even my brother is living proof. I've seen it over and over. So it is possible, all right? So don't give up. Have the faith and start doing the work, and you will see union. Okay, I love you all. If anybody's interested in a personal reading, you know what to do. Just contact me and we can get started on that. So if you have questions, I have answers, and you have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.